So what did I think after my first game of Malifaux 4th edition that I played yesterday? Well, let's start with the good. The good is that there were a number of procedural changes in the rules that I thought were great and helped streamline the game somewhat, helped smooth out some of the longer procedural stuff that has to happen in game. So I really like that. Uh, Despite the fact that there was some complaining about the lack of flavor or the removal of flavor in playstyles, there were a lot of procedural things kind of buried in those playstyles. So I take that as a mixed bag. Yeah, I also didn't like that some of the flavor is gone from certain playstyles, but at the same time, mechanics like berry and all the replace and all that stuff. I did feel like that kind of slowed down the game. The four turn format is great. Wanted to go out and start scoring things immediately. I thought that was good. I felt like the scheme system that everybody is bragging about is, to me, it's kind of mixed. And I want to compare Malifaux 4th edition with the Batman Miniatures game because I feel like they have a lot of similarities that you can kind of feel. And I feel like each system does one thing better than the other system does. So maybe I'll do a compare and contrast there. Overall, I think if you're a Malifaux player that really likes to play regular games and play in tournaments, that you're going to be sort of happy with the rules. I think you will be. I think if you were playing Malifaux more on the theme side of things, I think you might feel there's a little bit missing there because it really does kind of strip itself down to, okay, be within this position of this and make sure that you've got this and make sure that you do this procedural change. It really does kind of lean more into the clinical side of things. And I think even the competitive players will agree with me there. My overall concern with the game is that I don't feel that 4th edition makes Malifaux any more accessible to the outside. And that was what I was trying to say in my first unpopular take video was that it's Malifaux is pretty insular and its community is as welcoming as we are to outsiders. We are lost in this technicality that it's very hard to transfer to the outside. So while we may get some new players, I think in the more general sense, in the more, if you look at simple GW D6 systems, which, have all kinds of flaws in them, at the very least, those are accessible. And I probably want to spend a separate video kind of explaining what I mean by that. Malifaux is a deep, complicated, layered game, even at 4th edition. And while that's a great thing for people who already know the game and enjoy the game, I think it's a huge barrier to get outside folks into the game. I also think, frankly, again, here's the next unpopular take, lower the Soulstone costs of games. Seriously. 50 Soulstones felt like a lot. It's felt like a lot since 2nd edition. To me, I played 35 at 1st edition. And the gamers that want the game to be faster and feel like the flavor is stripped out still don't see that, hey, one of the things you could have done was you could have kept some of that flavor in and just simply lowered the game values. I really do think 35 Soulstones is a great standard tournament format. If you want to play 50 Soulstones in a larger format, I think that's fine, but the 35 format should have come back, and the game should have been balanced closer to 35 Soulstones. Again, my unpopular take, but you could have kept more flavor in the game, in my opinion. You could have kept more flavor in the game and had a faster game and less technicality to focus on. So yeah, that's my initial take. Um, I think you wanted to hear some details about what I actually played. A friend and I played, and I only had Colette on me, so we split the Colette crew in half and made it up to 50 Soulstones by adding versatiles in it. It was a very fun, entertaining game. Don't get me wrong, because we were learning the game, learning all the mechanics and that kind of thing. But it still felt somewhat bogged down in things. And again, the procedural parts of the game, I think, just keep it very inaccessible to the outside world. I don't know if the Malifaux community thinks that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm sure it's a mixed bag. But I think it would, even things like Henchman Hardcore and Malifaux, the 2v2, were great little short formats that veteran players enjoyed. And it also, especially 2v2, was a great format for, dragging somebody new into the game and letting them experience, say, a master and like one or two minions. I think that's and you got to get a little bit of playstyle out of it. You got a little theme. You got to play your character. I like those formats, and I know a lot of competitive players do not. But those are great little gateway formats if you really want more people playing Malifaux. But the procedural stuff, I still think we could have shut down more and kept more flavor in simultaneously. That's really my take on it. Will I be playing Malifaux 4? Yeah, I'll play Malifaux 4. I think, there's enough meat on the bone for me to play. It's just, it's not going to be, Malifaux will not be my favorite game like it once was. And to be fair, my preferences have changed with regards to the miniature games I play. Since first edition Malifaux, they've changed quite a bit, and my time constrictions and my brain restrictions have changed since then. So yeah, we bear all that in mind. Malifaux is I would say for anybody who's interested in playing and you kind of already know that you're getting into a deep, complex game, yeah, give Malifaux 4 a try. I think there's going to be plenty enough there for you to enjoy as long as you can accept the complexity of the game and also accept that if you were playing a deeply thematic playstyle, that you're going to feel like certain things are missing. Again, I don't feel like that's a bad thing, though. So overall, I mean, I would give the changes a B if I were to grade it. They were B changes. Not, every person that's ever played Malifaux will have their own unique thoughts on what should be changed and what shouldn't be changed. So just bear that in mind. Thoughts on Colette, I kind of want to also keep separately. There's a lot of fun in that kind of run and not really gun play style. There's some great little gems in that in how that crew plays. Both versions of the master, they don't feel that different from one another. If I'm being honest, they definitely don't feel as different as they did in third, but I think there's a lot of fun there. My opponent ended up buying a Colette crew after we played because he really liked the playstyle. And like I said, I like the playstyle. And I don't think that they stripped out too much of Colette. So I'll get into that separately. Anyways, I still think, for me personally, I still think I would rather play 35 Soulstones. That's just me. I would rather play that, get a faster, more decisive game in the same amount of time, if not less. And the scheme formats, I kind of like where they're going, but I was thinking about this. The Batman miniatures game follows very similar thing where you finish certain objectives, you score certain victory points, you draw more cards. Those have different things that you're trying to accomplish, and that game is light years faster. I'm not saying it's a better game. I would never say that, actually. Both games have a significant amount of flaws baked into them, but there are certain things that one system does better than the other. I would love to do like a full compare and contrast, and I do also consider the Batman miniatures game to be dead at this point, but there are some great learnings that could be shared back and forth. So, anyways, with that, that was enough rambling for now. I do want to play more Malifaux 4th Edition. I do feel like it's worth your time if you have any interest in playing the game. If you're completely on the outside of Malifaux 4, I strongly recommend you try to find somebody who knows about the game, or you've got to do a lot of homework. There's even with current players, the information front load was significant, as it is with all Malifaux editions. So, anyways, yeah, I better cut it off there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, Malifaux 4, give it a shot. I do feel it's a mixed bag. I do overall feel like it's better, in a better spot than M3E was. But yeah, I really wish they may have kept a little more theme in. And I don't know, there's probably a bit more to discuss there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.